Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook, got Justin Wells and Coach Williams with me. It's another edition of Recruiting Intel. We talk 2026 quarterback recruiting, and we talk to some of the prospects Texas has seen in recent weeks during the evaluation period. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, help us out. We're getting our way towards 8,000 subscribers. Want to be there and get you a bunch of great content over the course of the offseason and the season, which is not too far away. Make sure you head to InsideTexas.com, use the promo code IT1. That'll get you 2 months of Inside Texas premium access for just $1. Today is May 14th. That means you get through July 14th. And I think, as we've seen in years past, it's going to be a really active time for recruiting and commitment. So, Justin, Coach, this is kind of the time where assistant coaches get on the road, we get on the road, and it's a good opportunity for Texas to build relationships with players, but Justin, also for us to do the same as well for guys who are about to be juniors or sophomores and juniors next year.
Yeah, this is a good check-in period. It's also the spring evaluation period for us because we not only go and see Texas targets, kids with offers, with relationships with the staff. We meet young guys. We meet the next up, the next crop, the 2026s, 2027s in some cases. And so I think that's important because, you got to build relationships with each class. It used to be you just covered one class. Now you cover 3 classes. It's just the nature of the beast. And so it's evaluation period for us, just like the coaches.
One of the things that Texas will be evaluating big time in the coming weeks and even in the coming months, but more importantly on June 1st is quarterback. And at this point, Texas has 3 offers out at quarterback in the 2026 class. One is to a prospect who is committed to Georgia, and then there are 2 more who are uncommitted. One is Dia Bell at American Heritage in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, son of Rajah Bell, and the other is Troy Huhn out in San Marcos, Mission Hills, California, San Diego area. Both of them will be at Texas June 1st camp or are scheduled to be there. And yeah. Coach, just kind of wondering from your perspective, maybe a little bit of what you've seen on both of those prospects, and also why is it important ahead of these guys' junior year, maybe for them to join a class and maybe for Texas to have somebody in that class heading into, this upcoming part of the cycle?
Yeah, it's huge. I'll start with one of them in the class early. Quarterback is your captain. He's your leader, right? So he can kind of lead the charge in recruiting. If you get a quarterback to go ahead and commit, he can kind of rally the troops and get people to want to play with him, which is huge. That's what you want as a quarterback, and you want to know who you're going to be throwing to, who the guys are going to be protecting you, and the guys that getting you the ball back on defense, right? But what I see from both of these guys, man, they're point guards. I call them point guards, right? They can just deliver the ball where it needs to be. They can set everybody up. They know exactly the entire offense that they're running. They're comfortable in the pocket, and they're just poised, man. They deliver the football. It fits what Coach Sark loves to do with the quarterback, a guy who can deliver from the pocket. But they can escape if they need to, right? They're not going to sit in the pocket and take a sack. But if they need to get out the pocket and make a play, they can do that as well. And that's what you want out of a quarterback, and I think that's what Coach Sark sees out of these 2.
Yeah, they both have similar size, at least on 3. Dia Bell is listed at 6'3", 190. Troy Huhn's listed at 6'3", 195. We obviously see that Sark, like you mentioned, has what he looks for in quarterbacks. He wants mobility, but he's not like looking for a dual threat type of guy. But Justin, we always see how Sarkisian and Milwee very much trust their evaluations. And Huhn is rated as the number 15 prospect by On3. Bell is approaching 5-star territory, is the number 14 prospect. We'll get to the 2 quarterback class question in a second, but both these guys present, it seems like, upside and ability that Steve Sarkisian truly wants from his quarterbacks, especially as someone who, or as players who are going to be juniors in the coming months.
Yeah, both of them, they bring unique styles. They're both a little bit different. I think Troy Huhn is more of your classic prototype pocket passer. Good arm, good accuracy, good feel for the game in the pocket. The ball comes out pretty lively. He's got an explosive arm. Dia Bell is more of your off-platform type. He's a little bit more mobile. He can do a little bit more out of the pocket. He still throws well in and out, but he does some off-platform stuff that that we've seen more and more with this new crop of quarterbacks that's been coming through in the last 5 years, kind of the Mahomes type level stuff. And so you got to understand Huhn's more of your, classic type guy, drop back guy, whereas Bell is more of your kind of mobile, the future, you could say, in quarterbacking. And we know that Sark likes both. We know that Sark wants both. And so we're going to have to ask that question at some point. Is this a 2-quarterback class? Because when Quinn Ewers leaves next year, there's only going to be 2 on the roster. It looks like they might still keep 1 for 2025, possibly 2 with Keelan Russell. So there's so many things to juggle. But at this stage, Troy Huhn and Dia Bell are both takes. Texas fans should be happy if they get either one. And this is what makes it fun for us, because I think right after that June 1st elite camp, we're going to see a domino drop. One of these guys is going to make a choice somewhere, and it could be Dia Bell. He had talked about earlier last week about possibly having a decision early in the summer. Troy had told us back in April he wanted to get home, kind of settle in with his family, have talk, have some plans, and possibly have a decision this summer. And I think Sark is going to be the one that steers that the most. But you got two great quarterback prospects, two just a little bit different than the other. Both can fit in this offense.
Coach, just kind of curious from your perspective, when you have quarterbacks and quarterbacks who have offers coming into a camp setting, what are you looking for as a coach in this, not just what they do with the football in their hand, but also just how they go through camps? What are you looking for from these guys as a coach?
Yeah, you're going to put them through the exact same drills that you put your quarterbacks through that's currently on campus. You want to see how they lead as well. You want to see how they perform. They're going to coach them hard. They're going to put them through the gauntlet, so to speak, and see how they respond, right? Because you want a guy who can handle adversity and still be able to deliver the football and play with poise. So that's something that the coaches are going to look for, something I would look for, just to kind of put those guys through the gauntlet, just see how they perform and see how they are, how vocal they are. Can they go out there and lead a bunch of guys they don't know at the camp and see how controlled they are. And I think that's what the coaches will be looking for at this camp, and just, like I said, put them under pressure and see how they perform.
We will have a lot more names to track over the course of the coming couple of weeks for who's going to be there on June 1st and the week after. They have another camp. Good opportunity to head to Inside Texas. Use the promo code IT1. Get you 2 months of Inside Texas access for just $1. You're going to want to know these 2026 and 2027 guys who are heading to Austin, but you're also going to want to keep track of all the 2025 guys who are going to come in for official visits throughout the course of the month of June. Got to take a time right now to talk about our friend Andre the Lawyer. Andre the Lawyer has a principal office in Dallas, Texas, and he's been helping injured Longhorns for as long as he's been practicing law. He can help you if you're in a car wreck, slip and fall, on-the-job injury, wrongful death, no win, no pay, and you get a personalized text message number so you can contact the team whenever you have a question. Call Andre the Lawyer at 214-444-8808. Thanks to Andre. He's been a great Inside Texas member for a long time, and we appreciate him so much. You will too. Andre the Lawyer at 214-444-8808. Guys, we have been on the road. Charlie, you've been all over the DFW Metroplex. Justin, you've been in East Texas. We got to see some of the guys that you talked to last week. I've been on the road in Central Texas, and we've been able to talk to some of Texas targets in the 2025, 2026, even the 2027 class. Coach, I'll start with you with the 2025 guys. We'll go oldest first. You were able to talk to the Coleman brothers over at Cedar Hill. Real quick, we'll let them do a lot of the talking, but what were some of the big takeaways you got from them, especially since you talked to them last week on the heels of an on-campus visit from Kyle Flood?
Yeah, just kind of talked about, that visit with Coach Kyle Flood and just what they're working on this spring and what they're trying to improve on. Just trying to get a gauge on what they're thinking, honestly, right? Decision time is coming soon. I know they got some officials set up, but I just wanted to go by and kind of catch up with those guys, just like the staff is doing.
Exactly. We will pitch it to Devin right now, who spoke with you about the latest in his recruitment.
All right, here Inside Texas at Cedar Hill with 4-star on-3 offensive lineman. We got Devin Coleman, one third of the triple threat, man. How's it going?
It's going good. Working spring hard. Can't wait for the spring game to come up and all the colleges to see what we put together.
All right, cool. I know everybody's after you. I know y'all got some official visits set up, things like that. Like, what's the process been like for you?
It's been crazy because, I had never been through nothing like this. I've been waiting to go on some OVs. So this summer, I'm gonna schedule some OVs. Me and my brothers gonna go travel, go get some OVs done, and it's been amazing. You know, just having college coaches show interest in us and just stuff like that.
All right. What's the process like as far as y'all narrowing down schools? Like, what are y'all gonna be looking for when you go on official visits? Anything like that y'all looking to stand out to y'all?
Yeah, I said this a lot, just family oriented. How they treat others and how would they treat my family if we decide to go. So that's mainly what we're gonna be looking for when we go on these OVs.
Awesome. Has Texas been by here to visit y'all yet?
Oh yeah, they came yesterday.
Okay, Coach Flood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was that conversation like with him?
Oh, it was amazing. They mainly just was going to check up on us and stuff like that.
And just to confirm, when you guys, when's your official visit to Texas?
The 7th through the 9th.
7th through the 9th. All right, my man.
Devin gets to go first, but we got one other member of the triple threat that we need to talk to, and that's Jordan Coleman. Jordan's another guy who is being pursued by Kyle Flood. Here's what he had to say with Coach Williams last week.
So I'm here with 2/3 of the triple threat, Mr. Jordan Coleman. How's everything going, man?
Everything good. Everything great.
I know you guys got a ton of offense, a ton of attention. Like, how's the process just been for you, like recruiting-wise?
The process it's been a long process. We talking to coaches every day, trying to find out which place we're going to call home for the next 3 to 4 years.
All right. Yeah, your brother told me Coach Flood and somebody from the Texas staff came by yesterday. How was that conversation like with them when they came by to check on y'all?
It was good. They was just talking to us. You know, we're going to take an official visit up there out there in June. I think it's 9th. I think it's the 9th, so yeah, can't wait to go.
All right. And then as far as trying to narrow down schools, like what are you guys looking for when you go on visits and trying to hear from coaches or see from players, the staff? The facilities, school-wise, when it comes to academics and all that, what's the like determining factor when y'all want to choose a school?
Consistency, talking to us, really showing the love, and finding somewhere that feels like home, and the education, having a good education to make sure I'm not going for the wrong reasons, but the right reasons.
All right, and all three of y'all trying to go to the same school? Yes, still the plan? What's one of the goals the upcoming season that you know what I'm saying, you want to set for yourself?
One of the big goals for me is just make sure I keep going, make sure I keep growing, make sure I get better day by day.
Awesome stuff from 2/3 of the triple threat. They will be on campus for their official visit later in June. But Coach, you made your way from the I-20 corridor to the I-35 corridor, I guess to say, when you went to Waxahachie and you talked to one of the top young prospects, I believe in the 2027 class, in JayQuan Snell. What were some of the things that stood out to you about seeing him?
Just seeing the kid work out, run routes. They were doing spring practice, but he stayed afterwards to run routes and catch balls, which I thought was impressive for a young guy. Most young guys were just trying to get out of there and go home, but he stayed to catch a few extra passes, and just seeing him run routes, see how smooth he is, how decisive he is, setting up his routes and understanding spacing, comeback route, not taking extra steps on those comeback routes either. Like, this guy has it already as a young guy. He's a humble young kid. He doesn't know how good he's going to be, which I love because it's like you like to see that face and to see how excited he is about football. But just another great young talent in the DFW Metroplex.
Justin, it seems like there's already some guys who are going to end up being elite in the 2027 class as far as receivers go in the DFW Metroplex alone, and Snell seems like he's going to join that club.
Yeah, here's a guy that, 6'3", 192. He's listed as an athlete with On3, and that's just because he is an unbelievable athlete, like Coach got to see. But he's going to play wide receiver at the next level, in my estimation. And I think that's where Texas and Chris Jackson see him as well. I was excited when Coach got to go see him because he actually took a visit back in April for one of the scrimmages. And, we didn't get to talk to him as much. We didn't get to see him as much. This kid's fantastic. He isn't ranked yet, but this is what a 5-star generally looks like as a freshman. I can say that much. He's going to be highly coveted. He's already got some really nice offers, and he's barely 15 years old. Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. He's got some guys already on him. And so I think it's big because Waxahachie has some really good young talent, including a move-in quarterback that also looks really good. So Snell's going to not only have this ability for the next 3 years to kind of fulfill his recruitment, he's going to have a quarterback that delivers him the ball. And so the Indians are going to be on our radar for sure, because you could add Carmelo Clausen to that mix. They've got an edge guy over there that I really like. And so they're building something there nice. But for JayQuan Snell, that's an early evaluation I think Texas is going to get credit on, because they were early in that recruitment, offered him. They've already seen him once. They've already had him on campus once. I expect him to be back on campus for June 1st at elite camp. He's not rated yet, but that's kind of what a 5-star looks like when he's a freshman.
Always good to have the early intel on some of these guys. Justin, I think you and I were first, or one of the first, on Jordan Whittington, and we saw how well that worked out for not only us, but for Texas. So let's go to Snell, see what the latest is from him.
Cool. Here with 2027, Mr. Snell, the receiver from Waxahachie, blowing up and getting a lot of offers this spring, man. How's it been going?
It's good. I'm just enjoying it all, keeping my head down, staying humble and working.
All right. Coach Banks came by here the other day. Did you get a chance to speak with him at all?
Yes, sir. I spoke with him. He's a really good coach. He's always interacting with the players a lot, and I really enjoyed him coming down here to spend time with me.
Who do you speak with the Texas staff the most, or who communicates, reaches out to you the most?
I speak with the DB's coach,
Joseph, you good?
Coach Joseph, yeah, Coach Joseph. Yeah. I ain't talked to him in a while, but I speak with Coach Joseph.
All right, you said you're going down to the league camp on the 1st. What's your expectations of going? Have you ever been to Austin to visit?
Yes, sir. I've been down there. It was exciting. They got a nice facility, nice coaching staff. They got one of the best coaching staffs, I feel like.
All right, man. Who else are you hearing from this spring? I know everybody's probably been by trying to offer you, but like, what's the main schools that sticks out to you?
OU, Texas, USC, Baylor. I like them all, really. I'm still young, so I got a lot of time. I'm just enjoying it all.
Awesome stuff from a young player as well. It's always good to see how they are handling their recruitment and see the promise that they got. Guys, I got to get on the road a little bit and head to Bastrop, just down Highway 71. Sometimes I forget whether it's 290 or 71. Went to the home of the Bears, saw a great program, a great coach that's building a lot of great stuff over there. Not too many guys in the 2025 class on Texas radar, though there is a Power 5 prospect in Ramons Adams, currently committed to Texas Tech. But Texas has their eyes on a 2026 defensive lineman by the name of Tiki Hola, someone who's been on campus a handful of times, kind of soft-spoken, but then you watch him play and you watch him walk back a few different offensive linemen, and you can tell he's got the goods. I'm going to play the video we have of him. He went in depth on his recruitment, what the latest is with him in Texas, and we'll come back in a second and talk more about him. All right, I'm here with 2026 defensive lineman Tiki Hola from Bastrop. Tiki, what have you been working on the most this spring?
This spring, I just been kind of trying to work on my change of direction, my hand placement, my feet work, and I mean, anything could just help me work on my game and help me move forward.
Becoming a leader on this team, how do you think you've grown in that area?
Yes, sir. You know, we've always had there's always more to improvement for our D-line, and you know, to feel and make improvement. You know, I just try to make my boys better every single day and tell them what they need to work on, the things that they're missing, and all just the little pieces.
A lot of schools have come through here to see you, see Weston, see Ramon, see some other guys. Texas came through here the other day. You saw Texas last month. What was your conversation like with the Horns, and how do you view them in your recruitment right now?
In my recruitment right now, I think they rank pretty high on my list, and you know, it's just, you know, they're down the road, so like they can come by anytime, and, you know, doors are always open. And I think as we keep going on and, you know, stack up to my senior year, they can we can just build that relationship and, you know, build it more on beyond football, and, you know, build it outside of football, and, you know, family and all that, and just basically just building a more of a relationship with the coaches, and just yeah.
Justin, you and I have talked to Hola a good amount. Doesn't say a whole lot, especially as it comes to recruiting. Obviously, if he didn't mention in that video, he mentioned it on Inside Texas, and come check us out. Notre Dame, Oregon, and Texas A&M are some of the schools he's seen in the past couple of years. But someone who seems really comfortable in his process and seems to like Texas, and proximity helps out as well in that front.
Yeah, you know, he's going to be a priority on that defensive line for 2026, and for good reason. He's a man of a few words that, you know, he just doesn't feel like he needs to talk a lot. He thinks he can get things done quickly, and this is a target they identified early. Another one, and this is going to be one that Kenny Baker is going to have to wrap his hands around. This might be an all staff in another way, because Tiki's just a talented guy, but he's going to have every offer in the country and every opportunity. Really smart kid, very, very well mannered. Yes sir, no sir type. Really a good locker room culture kid. Like, this kid really checks just almost every single box you can think of. He'll be back a ton of times this fall for some more games. I know he caught a couple of them last year, but I'm with you, Joe. I don't know where this recruitment's going to go yet. It is 2026, so there still is some time, but I don't know if proximity is going to be the route to go, if it's headed to the West Coast, maybe even deeper into SEC country sometimes. It's going to be interesting, but like I said, he's closer to Texas. And they've got a great staff over there. Jake Grattle does an amazing job. They've got some really good coaches. And so I'm eager to see kind of how Tiki's recruitment plays out, because I think Texas has a really good foundation, but I think they're going to have to continue to build on that, because this is going to be a guy that collects 30, possibly 40 offers over the next 18 months.
Yeah, so far it seems like a couple of the visits he's made to Texas, and this is a good thing, but in January and even in April, he's like, well, they're right down the road. I had a chance. I went and checked them out. That's a positive for Texas. Gets him on campus, gets him connecting with Kenny Baker, and helps in that front. Obviously, with the city of Austin growing on a consistent basis, more and more talent is available in the area. That includes all the way out at Bastrop in the quarterback position. We've thought about a certain few high schools in the Austin area being where quarterbacks go. Now that's expanding more and more, and that applies to Weston Nielsen, a 2027 quarterback who's at Bastrop. Here's what he had to say about his recruitment. I'm here with 2027 quarterback Weston Nielsen from Bastrop High. Weston, how's this spring going for you in the Bears?
It's going pretty good. I mean, the team has come a long way and getting pretty good.
Where do you think you've made the most growth over the past couple weeks?
Probably mastering the playbook, as I came in as a freshman not knowing a lot, and I've gotten a lot better at it.
You've had a lot of schools. You got schools out here seeing you. How's recruiting going so far?
It's going really good. I've had a lot of schools look at me so far, and I'm going to a lot of camps this summer.
You even had Coach Milwee from Texas come by. What were some of the things you got to show him the other day?
Yeah, he told me to call him after the practice, and he said I looked really good.
Do you plan to go back to Texas in the coming weeks or months?
Yes, sir, on June 1st.
Good stuff there from Nielsen. He was seen by AJ Milwee not too long ago. Last week, a host of schools have come through Bastrop. When I went out there, Arkansas, Oklahoma State were there, including there were some other teams like Fordham, Yale, Michigan's made their way through. I think, even a team like Baylor, Texas A&M has gone through there as well. I know it's really early for 2027 recruiting, but Coach, when you think about that, guys who are going from their sophomore year, or excuse me, not even that, guys who are just entering their sophomore year, what does it mean for Texas to be reaching out to someone like this? And what would someone like AJ Milwee want to see when he goes to check out someone like Nielsen on campus?
Well, recruiting never stops. And I think the earlier you can kind of get in on guys, you can kind of have a longer time to actually evaluate them and see if that's a guy you want in the future, right? And it just gives those coaches a chance to get in on a kid early. Like, you don't want to be late on the kid in your state. You think you hear enough of that, like, oh, why didn't we recruit him earlier? Now all these out-of-state schools got him. So it just kind of gives Texas they're doing their due diligence and recruiting guys that's close to them and just kind of getting eyes on him. And probably going to evaluate him early and see where he's at as he grows. I'm sure he's going to get better as he grows, and so it just gives them an opportunity to check him out early.
That June 1st date is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great reason to head to Inside Texas. Come join us. Use the promo code IT1, get 2 months for just $1. Yesterday in the Inside Scoop, as we mentioned, talked a lot about 2026 quarterbacks, included a few names who will be making their way to that June 1st camp. We saw, I think, a commitment last year. Isn't that when KJ Lacey committed during one of these camps?
That early June weekend.
So, hey, it's not a weekend that's without news. Stuff can pop up. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's always good to be ready, and Inside Texas is the place to check it out. Like our video, subscribe to our channel. We're going to have a lot of great stuff over the course of the next few months. More recruit interviews, more analysis, more breakdowns from Coach Ian Boyd, Justin, myself, Paul, Eric, all the crew. Can't wait for you to come join us over at Inside Texas and here on the channel. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Andre the Lawyer for sponsoring this video. And we'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.